We kind of gave you a fire hose full of information. I wanted to give you 4 or 5 salient points to think about, and then we can now open up to questions. First, obviously, talk ocean ports versus inland ports. Those are where all the action is in the industrial space today. Most people know that. But you might want to think about which inland ports become more viable. Steve made the point. I think when intermodal first started, it had to be about 1,400 miles, was kind of the break-even point. I think it's now down to 700 or 800 miles. The goal, I think, is to get it under 500 miles. So if you think about 500 miles from Los Angeles, that opens up markets you might not have considered: Boise, Idaho, Salt Lake City, places that intermodals haven't really been like Chicago yet. Markets with intermodal facilities, they have the highest rent growth, and you can see the sharpest vacancy declines. So they're driving it, and the railroads are driving those things. The other thing is speed and efficiency. We were talking about right-of-ways and everything like that. I was told, I haven't independently verified this from some of the railroad folks, they can now get fresh produce, off a boat in Los Angeles into a Chicago warehouse ready to be shipped out in under 48 hours. So if you think about that, it could change the way that food and everything is processed in this country. So that's a trend to watch. That's a relatively new trend, but something to keep in mind. And the final point I want to make is what's making intermodal more viable is stuff is going back out. Whether it's going to start being chemicals, whether it's going to be agriculture. 10 years ago, it was cheaper to make a container, in China, fill it up with whatever you're going to fill it up with, come over here, dismantle it, and just throw it for scrap. You never sent anything back. Now about almost half the ships are going back to Asia, have stuff on it, whether it's agricultural commodities or goods that we manufacture. So the dynamics are changing. So when you get tolls both ways, costs come down. So those are things to think about as you think about things going forward. So with that, I'm happy to take some questions.